Hello, my name is Cecilia Wynn, and this is my cultural presentation, which covers the topic of Chinese vernacular architecture. To give a brief summary of Chinese architecture before diving into the vernacular side of things, the Chinese built with symmetry in mind. They created open space enclosures, and their buildings had a sense of hierarchy, which can be seen in the rooflines and the placement in relation to each other. They built outwards and not upwards most of the time because they achieved grandeur from the sheer scale of the footprints of their structures. If that was the general Chinese architecture, then what makes it vernacular architecture? Chinese vernacular architecture is a type of local or regional construction using traditional materials and resources from the area where the building is located. These specific geographical features can include the climate, presence of rivers and lakes, and cliffs. The cultural aspects of its surroundings include things like the local builder's skill and the safety of the area. Vernacular architecture is continually being researched by people today who want to implement its wisdom into contemporary projects. It has historical value as it is prevalent in the domestic dwellings and also inspired other building types, such as mausoleums and civil structures. They can be studied as examples of sustainability, and they serve as evidence of societal structures. Chinese vernacular architecture has been studied in various contexts. Whether the research focuses solely on climate, sustainability, the history, or the architecture itself, this short study of Chinese vernacular architecture will provide a brief overview of four distinctive types of vernacular architecture across different regions. Today we will talk about 四合院、楚楼、窑洞, and Hui style architecture. The first style is 四合院, also called a quadrangle. It is shown here in a semi-rural setting and again in the winter, but the second picture shows the 四合院 in a compact grid along with other 四合院 forming alleys. Here are some pictures inside of a 四合院, the courtyard in one of the buildings, and then the interior view. This building type spread to almost a third of China and was built in the cold regions, including the basin, plateau, and plains. It has become one of the most recognizable Chinese dwellings and a symbol of Chinese vernacular architecture. Since it was so widespread, it took on many variations. The 四合院 also utilizes a king system for heating, as shown in the drawing on the left. The different degrees of enclosure, from fully indoors to veranda to the courtyards, allows the inhabitants to find thermal comfort in the different seasons. The next vernacular type is called the Chulou. It was founded in the Fujian region. These pictures show the construction in clusters and the fortress-like appearance from the outside. And this is what the Chulou looks like from the inside. There is a grand view from the top balcony, and each family occupies a section of the wall. The Chulou were founded in southern China, therefore they were built for hot summers and mild winters. They come in both rectangular and circular forms, and they use walls as rooms. These Chulou were built as strongholds against thieves. The Chulou is remarkable for its adjustment to climate because it was not able to copy the passive cooling strategies like cross-ventilation that would leave the people vulnerable to crime. Their method for cooling instead involves this thermal mass which directs the heat from the walls into the open center and up out of the Chulou. It was also able to shade the open air space, and it has high ventilated roofs. Given the communal aspect of the Chulo, there is a sense of progression from public to private as seen in the bottom picture. Next up is the Yaodong. This is a house built into the earth. These were man-made caves built into cliffs at first, then built into a more traversable network with streets to connect them. This is what the interior of a yaodong looks like. It is quite insulated, so the design includes a large opening in the front to keep the space bright. Yaodong building type is found in the same cold regions as the Siheyuan. It also takes advantage of the soft earth to create affordable living spaces that heat and cool naturally. The yaodong uses thermal mass of the landscape to insulate it from the cold, as well as having the same Kong system as seen in the Siheyuan. This is the Hui-style architecture. It developed in merchant villages, so these houses are always placed along rivers. Two historical villages, Hongsun and Shiji, have Hui-style houses that are shown here. Hui-style houses were constructed in mountains and plains along the waterways. They were built to withstand both hot summers and cold winters. These served the merchants in these towns, and the amount of detail of the carvings on the mansions were indicators of the inhabitants' wealth and status. These structures stand close together, sharing heat in the winter and shade in the summer. These buildings not only shade each other, but any people who are walking in the alleys. These houses are built upwards to be 2 stories at some points. In summary, the different regions in China develop different vernacular building types. The creativity of the Chinese people when facing these climate conditions and environmental hardships is what directly shaped the buildings that we see in Chinese history. These are the articles that I used for my research. Thank you.